Okay, so we're talking about rounding to the nearest thousand, okay? And this is what we just worked on Friday, nearest thousand. So if I think of 1,000 as my top number, okay, and I think of 0 as my bottom number, I think about my halfway point. It's super important that we know the halfway point between 0 and 1,000. I knew the halfway point between 0 and 10 is 5. Between 0 and 100 was 50. What do you think it's going to be between 0 and 1,000? It's going to be 500. See the pattern here? Okay? That 5 is always coming back. We're just adding zeros. So halfway point between 0 and 1,000 is 500. So my midway point between any 1,000 is going to have that 500 at the end of it, okay? And I'll show you what it looks like, okay? So if my bottom number is 2,000, and my top number is 3,000. See that? 2,000, 3,000. My midway point is 500, but it's not just 500. It's 2,500. It's halfway between 2,000 and 3,000. Okay? So there's that 100, that 500. Okay? If you can remember that, you're going to be in good shape. So if I look over here at my sheet on the back side, we're going to do 1 and 6. I'm sorry, just like the last times. I'm going to look here right off the bat when I'm rounding to the nearest 1,000. This says rounding the nearest 1,000. I look at this hundreds place, this 374. And I know the halfway point between any 1,000 is 500. That's lower than 500. So I'm rounding down. I know it right off the bat. So what it looks like on a number line is I get my number line written down. I'll write a new one here that fits on the screen. Here's my arrow up, down, arrow down, okay, fits there or not. Got my top point, low point, midpoint. Okay, I got 7,300, what is it again? 74. So 7,374. All right, so I know that rounding to the nearest 1,000, my low 1,000 is just 7,000. I'm just taking that 7 and adding zeros over here, okay? The next 1,000 up is just one more 1,000, so it'd be 8,000 up here like that, okay? Halfway point between 0 and 1,000 is 500. I can just write that in automatically because I'm rounding to the nearest 1,000. So it's halfway between 7,000 and 8,000, so this must be 7,500 between those, okay? So 734, just like I mentioned before on the worksheet, 374 is lower than 500. So I know that lands in here somewhere, okay? So I know if I'm on the bottom side, it has to round down to 7,000. Okay? Be careful here. You might be starting to understand this a little bit better. So this is 7,000. Okay. Now we're going to do number 6. Check this one out. This one goes out to the 10,000s place, but I'm not going to let that scare me, okay? What I'm going to do is do the same thing. Thinking to myself, nearest thousands, midway point is 500, okay? That's what I'm thinking to myself. So 500. So I got 72,536. So I'm going to write that down. 72,536. Okay, got that down. So right off the bat, I see to myself, 536. Is that larger than 500 or smaller? That's what I asked myself right away. And I know that 536 is higher than 500. So I know I'm going to go up this time, okay? So here's my whiteboard. Here's my number line, okay? Number line, arrow, arrow, top 1,000, lower 1,000, midpoint. I know my thousands ends in 3 zeros, so I'm going to do 72,000. That's my low number, always the same. One more 1,000 higher, I just add 1 to the thousands place. 73,000, just like that. The midway point has got to have a 500, but it's not just 500, it's 72,500. It's halfway between those. I see 536, that's higher than 500. That lands in here somewhere, okay? So I know I'm rounding up to 73,000. So this over here is 73,000, okay? So I want you to get in the habit of understanding where you're looking at your numbers. If you're looking, rounding to the nearest 10, my halfway point is 5. So in the ones place, I'm looking right away, is that higher or lower than 5? If it's lower, I round down to the 90. If it's higher than 5, I round up to the next 10. Here, same thing. There's my 6. Is that higher than 5? It certainly is. Yeah. So I'm rounding up to 570. When I'm thinking about hundreds, I'm thinking 50, halfway point. See this? 18. That's lower than 50. Rounds down to 100. I'm looking over here, 19. That's lower than 50. So these 5,100 just rounds down. And finally here, we just did this. It's the same. I trust you're going to have a lot of success today, and I really think that your teachers are going to have a lot to add to this lesson. You need to be good listeners. You need to do your best. You need to give maximum effort today. All right, try to focus in and give your brain a chance. If you gave your brain a chance on Friday, I bet you today is going to be a lot easier for you. And always remember, be happy. All right, see you later, guys.